What's going on, guys? Winter Kills here. Welcome back to a brand new post-commentary duel video. Back again with another video. We got, this is from the same locals I think the last duel video I uploaded was from. If I do upload them in the order that I'm planning on to, but, me on the left playing Mermail versus my friend Adam playing True Draco on the right. Apparently True Draco is, still up there with one of the best decks. I didn't really expect that to change, but as you saw, my opening hand had a Ghost Ogre, able to stop that diagram from going off, and then my Twin Twister hits his Return of the True Draco and an Anti-Spell Fragrance, and then you see me summon Neptibus, right? Now, I had to discard Marksman for Twin Twister. You know, hindsight's 2020 going into this. Yeah, the Anti-Spell, hitting the Anti-Spell and that True Draco card were nice, right? But, you know, looking at it, like I said, hindsight 2020, looking at it this way, did I need to? No, of course not. Those cards would have been no threat to me, really, just being able to go for, you know, Neptibus into Megalo, into Starboy, into Moulin Glacia, all that stuff. Probably for a game at 2400, well, 29, 29, 19, and 3300 damage. Very easy, simple OTK to pull off with just Neptibus and water. But in my hand, I'm one water short. I could Monster Reborn for no reason, which is terrible. Or I could Moray of Greed and risk losing the cards in my hand for something worse than I already have. So he's going to use that spell card to tribute out for Ignis Heat. Luckily, he has no other good plays to make, and I have 1-for-1 in my hand right now. But I use Monster Reborn. Ignis Heat will activate. He gets to add 1 to his hand. 1 True Draco spell card, looks like. And I get to Monster Reborn Neptibus, use this effect, send infantry. And I get to add, of course, another Atlantean. Infantry will pop Ignis. Doesn't have any set cards to, you know, trigger in response to its destruction. Summon Megalo. Add, or get to search at least off of Megalo and off of Dragoons. I actually don't think I end up searching off of Megalo just because I'm afraid of a hand trap. I figure I don't need to get the search, you know, either way. And I can Moulin Glacia what's out of his hand first. You know, that'll bait out anything, really. You know, this time I get to go first this time because that's what I've been trying to do, is go first with this deck. Took out a lot of going second cards like, you know, Raigekis and Kaijus. Well, the Kaiju engine I did take out. Some main cards that are just mostly helpful in going second. Been drawing into most consistent hands I've been drawing into would be like a handful of monsters and maybe a spell or two occasionally, and it's actually been not terrible. As you can see, I'm forced to go for the Toad combo here. Don't really have any other options of play, so I just go into Totally Awesome, and what he's about to do next is something I actually didn't expect. This Amano Spirit card, which basically makes it so your opponent can't activate any of their monster effects while it's on the field, but it returns the hand during the end phase. You know, the owner's hand, you know, during the end phase, much like any spirit does. Nikotama, Aratama, I'm familiar with those cards. Played them when I played Ritual deck. Can't remember the name for the life of me, but it's a big level 12 Ritual monster. Used the Spirit engine in the deck for quite a while. Got familiar with how spirits work. Diagram looks like a destroyed masterpiece. Added return, and then we'll tribute a set spell, and then use his other True Draco card to get a draw for every True Draco card tributed that turn. I think it's Heritage. I think that card he tributed was Disciples. I get the two mixed up. I'm sorry if I'm not getting them right. Give me a break, you know. This was actually the first time I played True Draco during this locals. You see that card will return to his hand. I actually, in round 4, I ended up playing against another True Draco deck, and I actually won 2-1 in that match. Didn't record it, but I ended up playing against True Draco again and won. Although I don't think that True Draco player opened up nearly as well as my friend Adam did during these duels, at least from what I can remember. Reason I go for the Gamma Seal, mainly because I can't beat over the Ignis with the diagram on board, and I really just don't want him to have another monster there, so he doesn't, you know, get the luxury of being able to tribute a monster, but he does have the set return, so. And I'm pretty sure I saw him add that, you know, hindsight, man. I'm just looking back at this, making some not so great plays. Add, I think it's Maiden, I'm not exactly sure. Amano comes down again, so basically, like, even if I were to have any hand traps, I'm pretty sure I just, like, would not be able to use them whatsoever, just because that card just makes it so none of my effects can work. And now, this is a really foolish mistake of me. You might have just noticed I go for Lind. You know, Lind hits the grave. And I'm thinking I'm going to get its effect, but I'm not going to because it stops all effects. I only thought it stopped things on the field's effects, but it turns out it stops effects from everywhere. Which, you know, lesson learned. This is, like, literally no joke. First time I've seen this card, ever. And apparently it's brand new. First time I've ever seen this spirit card come out. I'm like, what is this? You know, first it was Inspector Border. I'm like, okay, that card's busted enough. And then I gotta deal with this thing. Nothing I can do. And then he just puts game on board just like that. Forced to go into game 3. Not much I can do. There. Yeah, mono card pretty much just says no to anything that I want to do. So it is what it is, right? Game 3, starting things off with a 1-for-1. The 1-for-1 does actually end up throwing off my play. You'll see what I mean by this in a second. It was probably avoidable. There'll probably be some guru in the comments being like, technically you could have ended with X card, Y card, and Z card if you would have just done this. Well, I apologize. But going for the 1-for-1 obviously puts the extra water in the grave. And now, if I did not use 1-for-1 to get out Neptibus, I basically, you know, would have had the Moulin play, which is what I was looking for. I was looking for the Moulin play, but right now I'm realizing, you know, I've got extra too many, you know, one too many cards in the hand right now. Not what I want. I want 5 Waters Engraved, not 6, obviously. Still at this point, debating on what to add off of the Dragoons. Since I have set Sphere, and I opted to go first this time. Like, sometimes I get the good luck going first. Sometimes I get the good luck going second. You know, sometimes it just... The hand that was, you know, the time I'm really feeling confident about going first, it should have been like, oh, you know, I should have probably went second with this hand. But, you know, it's obviously too late at that point to make a decision and go back and change whatever I wanted to do. End phase Sphere, you know, Lind, Shenanigan, Pike, discarding Neptibus, summoning Dragoons off Neptibus, and getting a search off of Pike. You see, I sided in a couple Cosmic Cyclones in this matchup. And then I had Osea. My other option was like Hild, Mander, Gund. Really have a tough time at that point deciding like what do I want to add to my hand? What other level 3? You know, I can't have Marksman because I only play 1 Marksman, so my choices are literally Gund, Osea, and Hild. So I just add Osea because it can make a play on its own, and at worst, you know, it's just discard fodder. So during my turn, I get to start the turn with Neptibus. He has 4 setback or in a face-up, I believe, Disciples. Not, you know, the Disciples not too much of a threat to me at this point. Right? Not too much of a threat, the Disciples of the true Draco Phoenix. So my options at this point are, right, to, you know, I'm thinking, can I link into something to make a rank 4? I was thinking about linking Megalo and Neptibus into my Starboy, and then using Pike and Dragoons to go into Bahamut and then into Toad to set up a better board. But he has Torrential. Like, I know Torrential's at 3. Of course, when I'm playing here, I myself am not playing 3 Torrential because I just don't want to run a trap heavy build. I feel like if I run a trap heavy build of Mermails, I'm going to need to switch it up a bit. Maybe run not the frog engine, less hand traps, and just play more regular traps. I walked right into that. I'm not going to deny it. You know, I go for Diva for normal summon because I didn't normal summon that yet turn. And he's got Solemn Judgment. It's just, I was unlucky. Like, yeah, could I have read the Torrential? Probably. I just didn't, right? You know, and then he's going to pass back to me. Doesn't have anything he can do, so I'm like, oh, I can take advantage of this. No, just summon Osea and swing in for like 1100. And then he's going to activate Apocalypse. This card, man, this card is just great. And then a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh hits me right here, a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh. I go to Ghost Ogre, and obviously you can't because it's ready for this, and most of you already know this already, but it's technically not on the field yet. I know it's how the ruling works. You know, Stormforce, Demise, Duality, he literally just starts popping off at this point. I'm sure most of you can probably see where this is going. The Torrential really killed me. My motivations, my spirits, my hopes, literally everything. I still feel the depression from that Torrential. Heritage will get Ghost Ogred by me, but doesn't matter. There's Majesty Maiden to attack over. There's Disciples, Recycling, all of the cards ever. Like, this is why I want to play a build of Mermails where I play, because I've been loving Sphere, don't get me wrong. Sphere's come in clutch a lot to set up a lot of plays, really liking it. There's no doubt about it. And yeah, right now he's got 3 set back row, he's got Majesty Maiden, he's got Diagram on board. I set one, pass it over to him, you know, in desperation, another pot of Duality. He's got a mono on his field, adding Ignis. I believe he's gonna probably summon Ignis here anyways, using an ability or something, but it was just rough. I want to play a build of Mermails that runs Abyss Scale of the Cetus, Abyss Scale of the Mizuchi. I want to play the Trap and Spell Negator because, yeah, obviously I take the L there and we'll lose 2 to 1. Unlucky Torrential, man. If I would have had Cetus, I probably could have searched it off the Megalo that turn. Because I'm pretty sure, I can't remember back, but, you know, when we went over it in the game, and I'll probably rewatch the video after this again, you know, just the regular video file that I have on my desktop, but you know, I could have searched Cetus with Megalo and had that trap negation ready to negate the Torrential, but obviously Cetus, much like the other Abyss Scales, they get triggered when the first trap gets activated, so he could have baited it out easily. But I do want to try a build that runs maybe I'm looking at my build right now on my other screen, but maybe not run Osea because I've literally found 0 use for it at this point and just not liking it, and run Mizuchi and run, you know, Cetus just for extra negation. I think it might be helpful. I don't know, you guys might think differently, of course, but like, I've gotten no use out of Osea lately. Every time I see it, it's just a useless card in my opinion. I just don't like it. I'm just not liking it at all. I'm not using it to you know, combo with Manor to make a rank 4. I'm just not using it that way, and never gets used that way, I think. And I think that whole tournament, no joke, never saw Teus once. Unlucky, right? You know, days I see Teus every hand, days I don't see Teus at all. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you guys, of course, in the next one.